Boots, 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 boots. There's no discharge in the wall. Okay, yeah, that piece of music or poem that was in the trailer is actually in this film, and it's really creepy when it happens. Um, let's see. Um, I'm once again struggling to review a movie with no notes, but let's have a look. So, I will say that this movie is good, but it's not great. And my basic recommendation would be to, I mean, if you're really wanting to go to the movies and you're not interested in anything else, and you're a really big fan of the first one, then, and you have money to spare, then I would say go watch this in the theater. But for the most part, I think most audiences would probably not really benefit that much from going to the theater. It's not like it's Mission Impossible 8 where like, oh my God, this is so worth going to the theater for. It's good, but not that exciting. So if you want to wait until streaming, then that would be my official recommendation. And so let's start with the positives. The first hour of this movie is really good. Um, oh, by the way, they shot this entire film on a phone. Obviously, it's not literally a phone. They have a bunch of rigs and different expensive stuff to make it look much better. So, but that's pretty cool and inspirational. As inspirational? Yeah. As a aspiring filmmaker, I would want to do something similar, perhaps. So it's good to know that it's possible. And yeah, the filmmaking was good. The acting was good. When I say the filmmaking was good, it was good, but sometimes um, when they kill certain zombies, I would have preferred a more smooth uh, shot rather than like really janky editing to make it look different or more sophisticated. I prefer sort of more traditional filmmaking where you like, let's say a character uses a bow and arrow and shoots someone. No spoilers, by the way. I would have preferred just basic shot of them pulling the arrow back, and then you see the arrow go into um, the enemy infected, rather than this sort of really. It's interesting. It's an interesting way to show it, but they basically edit it in a way that I'm not necessarily a fan of, but I can see how uh, people like it. It reminds me of like the Matrix or something. Um, but no, for the most part, the filmmaking is good, and as I said, the acting's good. Aaron Taylor, what's his name? Aaron Taylor, what was it, the main guy? For some reason, I just think of Anya Taylor-Joy, but it's not. That guy and the kid that plays Spike is pretty good, and Ray Fiennes is pretty good, and I would say, yeah, they did a good job. Alex Garland and Danny Boyle back together after so many years, and it's just really obvious to me that they are trying to start a new trilogy, which I believe they are already planning a second um, movie. So this entire film basically leaves me with a bunch of questions that I hope they answer. Otherwise, it's kind of a negative for me. Um, there's certain sequences that I won't get into because otherwise it will be spoilers. In the second half with the character of Ray Fiennes, I forget the character's name. Um, I have a lot of questions about him because I found his character to be really interesting. but I have a sneaking suspicion that he's not going to be in the sequel. So then I'm not really sure uh, why they built him up so much because they talk about him earlier in the film, and then we only really get like 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes of screen time with him. And so, yeah, they set things up, and I guess I'll get into that in the negatives. Um, Basically, the ending of the movie, I'm not a big fan of. Um, it was more comical than serious. It feels like they created some drama between two characters that I like and split them apart. I'm trying not to do spoilers. And it feels forced and not necessarily authentic. And the problem is, I don't really feel that emotionally attached to those characters necessarily. So the second half of the film is the part that I don't really like, and the ending as well. I feel like the first hour of the movie was really good when it's Aaron Taylor Johnson is, I don't know what his surname is, and the kid Spike. When they were together for the first half, that's the best part of the movie. And I feel like they forced some emotional drama that wasn't necessarily that impactful for me. It might work for other people, but for me, it didn't really do that much. And so the second half of the movie, uh, it's still the same stuff, like good filmmaking, good acting, and tension. Um, that's the thing. The jump scares were pretty good, and they made the infected more sophisticated and more scary. And there's a bunch of really good shots and um, filmmaking that made me like jump a little bit, and like even cheap ones that I usually don't like if a character enters a house and there's nothing in there initially, but then a cat just pops up or something, and that gets you. So it's good from with that kind of thing. Where was I going with this? Um, Dang, I lost my train of thought. Terrible. I'm so unprofessional. Such an unprofessional YouTuber. I got this new setup, by the way. Do you guys like it? With the poster of the film to the left and my face cam to the right. See if that looks any better. Because when it's full screen, you can see the sort of grainy quality of my webcam that is not high quality. So, and I don't really want to film on my phone because it's not that convenient. Anyway, yeah. So we go to, oh, so that's the other thing. I just can't help myself because I'm so attached to The Last of Us that but I can't unsee the fact that there's so many things that is really copy and paste from The Last of Us. Like the island that they are in. Not this is not a spoiler. It's in the first 2 minutes. It just reminds me of Jackson. Then a character shows up at near the end of the film that reminds me of Ellie. Um, I mean, the main guy, he reminds me of Joel, and the infected in general remind me of the infected from Last of Us, like runners, stalkers, bloaters. Bloater, not really, but they have similar attributes. And so when you watch the original, you can say, well, actually, it came out before The Last of Us. So if anything, The Last of Us copied 28 Days Later. But I think this one sort of maybe took some stuff from The Last of Us. I don't know. I just saw them, Alex Garland did a podcast with, um, what's his name? Neil Druckmann recently. So they're friends, so there might be some kind of conspiracy theory. But obviously it's still, that they are, copying some aspects. But it's still pretty much 100% original. I'm just saying, in my mind, I can't stop uh, thinking about certain characters and aspects in this film and comparing it to The Last of Us. So in that sense, it doesn't feel 100% original, but it is. Especially that poster right there, that kind of thing. Ray Fiennes' character is 100% original, as well as Spike, and the scene where they get up to that mountain of skeleton heads. That's obviously, those kind of things are original and really interesting content. Um, it just leaves me with more questions, and I want a sequel to sort of get deeper into the Ray Fiennes character. If they do that, then it will fix the plot issues with this film because I just don't quite understand certain things that they show. Uh, yeah, there's pretty cool sequences or scenes where characters seem to have visions or not visions, but they see you just there's quick cuts of infected chasing after deers, and it's filmed in this sort of grainy red color. And I mean, I don't know if this is counts as a spoiler, but I just found that scene to be pretty good and creepy. And that was in the first half of the film, which is the part that I really liked. And they, yeah, as I mentioned, they do play that Brutes poem. Um, Not sure what else to mention. What else is there? Pretty good tension. I feel like there's a sequence in this movie in the first half that's so good that you can't really beat it. So the second half, I think, just lacks that kind of tension and action and just uh, good acting, film. Oh, it's still there in the second half. The good acting and filming is there. Filmmaking is still really good, but the tension and the sort of feeling that there's danger around the corner, it kind of goes away because for a long time they focus on one particular storyline with one particular, well, characters in particular, and it's an emotional beat that only works if you actually care about that particular character, whereas I don't care about that character. So the second half of this film is not as good. And I don't know, that's pretty much it, honestly. So my rating would be a an 8 out of 10 for filmmaking and a 7 out of 10 for the the actual film overall, a 7 out of 10. If you don't know, I do separate two different rankings, the filmmaking aspect and the movie overall. Overall. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.